Is there anyone in your business who can't sell? Well, I'm here to explain why everybody in your business is a salesperson. Hi everyone, I'm Caryn Dunlop. I'm a business growth specialist with ActionCOACH in the Royal Windsor area. And today, as I said, I wanted to talk about why everybody in your business should be a salesperson. If you think about salesperson, do you get that horrible perception where they're a little bit pushy, perhaps a bit arrogant, shiny suits, slick back hair? A lot of people, whether it's you or people in your business, are going to have a real poor perception of that traditional aspect of a salesperson. But a true salesperson is somebody who asks the right questions and somebody who cares about their clients. So if you think about your products and services, are they the best on the market? Are they the best value for money for your customers? And do you truly believe that they are the best? If that's the case, then when you're helping someone to buy something, you're helping them to make a decision and helping them to make the right decision. I've worked in my previous life in jobs where I knew that the competition weren't as good and wouldn't give as good service as we could give. So that gave me that added incentive to make sure that I helped my customers, my potential customers, to make the right decision. So when you're going through the sales process, it's about asking questions. It's not about being pushy or salesy or making somebody do something. You're going to ask them the right questions. So when you're going through your sales process, you start with what we call the qualification process. You're going to qualify and make sure that you and your customer and the business are the right fit for each other. So you can start off with, let's say, price qualification. Now, this one's always a bit of a difficult one. Talking to people about money and budgets can always be a little bit sensitive. What I found in previous experience is that talking to people and asking them an outright question about their budget very rarely works. The reason for that is they'll tell you what they think it costs without really knowing. They'll tell you less than they have because they don't want you to spend all their money, or they'll tell you more than they have because they feel embarrassed about their budget. So what tends to happen is you won't get the right budget from them. So the best thing to do is just talk about your products and services, give them an indication of price ranges so that you know you're in the right place. But when you're doing that, you're also going to find out what they're looking for and what works for them. So let's say, for example, you do beautiful, sleek German kitchens, and somebody comes in and they're looking for a lovely, traditional country kitchen. You'll come in and you'll be asking them all these different questions about what they're looking for, what's important to them, kind of style, how they use the kitchen, and you'll find out that they want something that you don't provide. So your ideal situation here is to recommend them to 2 or 3 companies in the local area who do what they're looking for. So in this instance, you haven't won a new customer, but when their friend says they're looking for that beautiful, sleek, shiny German kitchen, who do you think they're going to recommend? So that's the first part, is asking lots of questions. Now, I truly believe that a script here works really, really well, and I understand a lot of people think that they're going to sound like they're reading off a piece of paper. It doesn't work like that. It's a very simple set of questions. Make sure that you get the right information, makes that customer, potential customer or client feel valued because you're more interested in them than you are in your own product. It also helps if Linda normally does the order taking and she goes to lunch and Janet's on the phone instead. Janet has the same list of questions that Linda does. So maybe Janet can't process the order, but she can ask all these questions and make that customer feel valued still. So that customer knows that their order is going to be looked after, and maybe Janet will need to phone back a few hours later just to confirm all the details. But in that initial phone call, somebody's been interested. They haven't said, oh no, somebody's on lunch, can't speak to you, can't help you. They've been interested in you and your product. So once you've sent your proposal to your customer or client, then you're going to follow that up. Now, a lot of people feel really uncomfortable about following up a quotation, but you need to look at it slightly differently than that. If I have 3 proposals sent to me, for example, I'm looking for a product or a service, I get my three quotations come through and I'll have a quick look at them and think, right, I'll look at that more carefully over the weekend. Nearer the time, somebody phones me from company A, just checks that everything in there made sense, any changes I wanted to do, everything worked for me. And maybe there'll be a couple of tweaks and changes. We'll have a good chat. She'll send something through to me again, and I've got a new proposal for the weekend. Absolutely brilliant. So at the weekend, I've set aside some time to look at the quote, but of course the family came over and I didn't have a look at it properly. So the next week, I get a second phone call from company A, but I haven't heard from company B or C yet. So company A is right at the top of my memory. I'm thinking about them because I've had a subsequent conversation with them. They sent me through a revised proposal. They want to make sure that they've got it right. So we have a second conversation in the second week and everything looks right, and so I proceed with them. There's two reasons for that. One, as I said, they're in my top of my memory. I've had some conversations. We've started to build up a relationship because not only did I have that initial contact, but we've had subsequent conversations since. And of course, that level of care and interest that they've shown after they sent the proposal, that indicates to me how they're going to look after me once I've actually purchased that product. So that continued interest and that continued care indicates to me that that's how they're going to look after me in 3 months' time, in 6 months' time, etc. And another area you need to think about in sales is making sure that everybody in your business, regardless of whether they're customer facing or not, understands what the business does, what services they provide to the customer at the end of the day. They know your strapline, they know your USPs, and they know your guarantee. We did that with a one-to-one client a little while ago, and by teaching everybody in the business, from the finance director to the admin person, how to just give those small snippets of sales information, we were able to increase the sales by 143% with no investment in marketing. A really, really staggering result just by making sure everybody can talk about the business and sell the best points of the business. Not only that, but it means the whole team are engaged. Everybody in the business has a part in selling. Everybody in the business has a part in those business results and those end financial figures as well. And of course, another key area, making sure that everybody in your business is able to sell to some extent, is that you then have the opportunities to sell other products and services as you go through the relationship with your customer. That means, we call it cross-selling, but it means that if one customer is interested in product A, but you also do products B and C, then at some point you can start to talk about products B and C and ask them questions and see if they're relevant to that customer or client, which has a big impact on your sales as well. Don't forget that it's much, much cheaper to sell to an existing client than it is to bring a new client on. I'd be really interested to hear what your thoughts are on that. If you've got any questions or comments, please do put them in the comments box. More importantly, please do like and subscribe. I really look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.